Typically, when I get a new vehicle to test drive and review for our Car Smarts channel, I'll do the walk around, we'll talk about the vehicle, we'll talk about what's under the hood, we'll talk about the interior cargo space, and then we take it for a test drive, and then I give you my pros, my cons, the price, and the close. But in this case, the 2026 Dodge Charger Scat Pack Plus, you know, it was just screaming my name, and we had one nice warm day where the roads are drying out, and I thought, I better get this car reviewed. And what an opportune time, because one of the first cars I drove when I was 16 years old was a 1970 Barracuda 383 slapstick convertible, yellow, black top, black interior. It was my mother's daily driver. And this reminds me so much of that. This is not a throwback car. It is not a V8, although I wish it would. And there will be one in the future, according to the people I've spoken with over at Stellantis. They're saying Dodge is coming back in a very aggressive way, and they need to, and I'm really looking forward to it, because this Charger as an electric vehicle, it's okay. And I have friends that have bought them, but when it has a gas engine, it's so much more fun. The 6-cylinder, this is a really nice vehicle with 2 performance trim levels. However, a HEMI in here, and they have a winner all day long, because there's no one to compete with the Mustang. There's no Camaro any longer. And unless GM realizes that, that means there's only 2 players in this marketplace, and that's the Mustang and the Charger. Because this is slightly different than what you might expect from my review, I had to take it for a drive first, because this vehicle is about straight line performance. Yes, I know Stellantis says these vehicles handle. It doesn't handle like a Mustang. It doesn't handle like a Corvette, which would be the only thing General Motors has to offer. But this vehicle is really about straight line performance. This is where Dodge and the Dodge brothers always shined. A performance vehicle that is crushing the competition at the drag track. Yes, this vehicle is all-wheel drive. It is not available as a rear-wheel drive vehicle, maybe in the future, but that means you can drive it year-round. And in Buffalo winters, snow tires, all-wheel drive, and a performance car, that could be a blast. This vehicle is large. It's larger than the Mustang for sure. But what it does offer is a comfortable ride all day long, all year round. Take it to the track and have a blast. So this could be your only vehicle. It's available as a 2-door with large doors, just like my mom's Barracuda, or you can get it in 4 doors, so it's more convenient to get people in the second row. And because the second row is so small, I highly recommend, if you're going to have anyone sit in the second row, the 4-door is the way to go. One thing I really like about this vehicle, you open the door and you see this modern version of the Charger. It is very cool. It is very futuristic. It is very performance oriented, and lots of little throwback items throughout this vehicle that remind me of the original Charger. One thing that they've added in our test vehicle is a gigantic solid glass roof. If I was going to drag race this car, I wouldn't go with the glass roof. There's a lot of what they call torsional twist, transfer of the weight from the front to the back, and that's one of those things where the glass roof is just going to be heavier than a metal roof. But again, that's a personal choice. This vehicle does have launch control. So if you want to launch this vehicle at the track, do some very cool launches on a private road, this vehicle truly performs. There's also a line lock. Now, I used to drag race many years ago. One of the things that you need if you want true performance and getting that traction is a line lock. And that comes standard on this vehicle. The vehicle has a little bit of body roll, but this vehicle isn't meant to be that type of vehicle. We're not going to drive it aggressively on snowy, wet, icy roads. That probably wouldn't be very smart. And I don't want to have to make a phone call to Stellantis to tell them that I did something stupid. So we're going to be responsible and controlled. I know those of you that know me are saying, since when? Well, I guess I have to be. This isn't my car. If it was, it'd be a different story. But one of the things I really like about this vehicle is it's extremely drivable. The drivability of this vehicle, since the road is suddenly being blocked, and that was unexpected, like I said, you have to be responsible. We're gonna back up, but this gives you a chance to see the backup camera, the around view camera. It's crystal clear, and there are options as well. The weight in this vehicle is around 4,800 pounds. We don't have an exact weight from Stellantis, but we do know this vehicle is not a lightweight. So when you're at the track, transferring this kind of weight from the front where the engine is to the back is engineering, it is science. And Stellantis has definitely proven that. Looking out the front as far as visibility, nice, clear, big visibility. One thing I wish I could see, and I can't, is the six-pack logo that's right on the front of the hood. You can see it if you get out, and it's aimed toward the driver, but you can't see it when the hood is down. I'm wondering why they did that. Interesting concept, but it's something you can put in the comments below. As far as sill height, not too bad. You can put your arm here and still feel comfortable to go out for a cruise. Looking out the back, well, this is a performance car and it's not meant to be an SUV, so you're going to have just the right amount of visibility because you're going to use those side mirrors to help you get to wherever you need to go when you're backing up. The brakes, they're large and in charge. When you have a heavy vehicle like this with big performance, because we have the higher performance test vehicle, you're going to want those bigger brakes. You want that whoa power, not just the go power. I didn't even change the drive modes, and this thing has get up and go. That's what you want when you go to buy a Charger. You're not looking for a daily driver. You're looking for a car that makes you smile, that gives you a spirited drive. And when you do want to drive responsibly, you can do that as well. One thing I shut off on this vehicle that drives me crazy on every vehicle is the start-stop technology. It's a button just below the center screen, just below the climate controls, all the way on the left, and I shut that off, as well as lane departure. It's just a personal thing. Some people like to have it. It does have park assist, it does have traction control, it's got all those things. And down below you also have plenty of places to charge USB-C as well as wireless charging. They've thought about everything. It makes it very functional for those who want to use this every day. You can go into the apps and there's so many choices and you can personalize it and make it the way you would like. All kinds of services available as well as AM radio, FM radio, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. All of that is standard, and that's positive. You can do an attitude adjustment, which I actually kind of love the name. Stellantis is great with marketing, the attitude adjustment, using the names that made Dodge famous. Those are back in this vehicle. The red stitching, the performance-oriented experience, everything including the pistol grip shifter, which I find really cool because you haven't seen those since way back in the day, and now they're bringing back this personality. I'm friends with one of the designers, the head designer actually at Stellantis, and he is a real car guy. And so is Tim Kuniskis, the guy who runs the full division here in the US. And he is a true car person. And that's why you're starting to see a lot of what you actually want when you're looking for a performance car back in this vehicle. Just the colors, the style, the design, the big screens, the information you need. If you want to go to the performance pages, all of that is here. You've got heated seats, vented seats, heated steering wheel, 3-stage. And by the way, these seats heat up super quick. Like they'll burn your bottom, which means they've really thought about everything. Passenger blind spot, all of that is here, USB, and that includes Wi-Fi hotspot and all the things that people like. When it comes to safety on the Charger, standard safety features include automatic emergency braking, lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, and adaptive cruise control. Optionally, you can buy side distance warning and front and rear park sensors, which are on our test vehicle. Some of the additional features on the interior of this vehicle include Alpine 9-speaker audio system with a subwoofer and an optional Alpine 18-speaker high-performance audio system with subwoofer for $1,495. Bluetooth, wireless Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto are standard. One of the cool features is a 180 mile per hour primary speedometer. No, you're not going to do that on the street, and you may not do that on the track, but it's just a cool feature to have. Okay, since we're doing this review just a little bit different, now let's take a look at the outside, and we're going to talk about some of the unique features that make this vehicle pretty darn cool. Now that we've had a little bit of fun with this vehicle, I want to show you some of the very cool features that make this vehicle unique. There are a lot of different trim levels, so make sure that you pick the one that fits your budget and, of course, your smile level. Big smiles on this car. There's an RT 6-pack coupe, the Scat Pack 6-pack sedan, which is the 4-door, and the 6-pack plus, which is our test vehicle. All 2026 Dodge Chargers come as 2-door or 4-door options. They're all all-wheel drive. There is a rear drive mode, so you can get that same experience. So that is something that was very smartly designed into this vehicle, so customers can get that same experience even though it's all-wheel drive when you need it either on the track or in the cold weather like we're having here in Buffalo. Our test vehicle is Blue to Chris, which is an additional $695, but I love all the names they come up with and all the very cool colors. They have orange and all those bright colors that we've always known and loved when it came to this vehicle. The headlights are bifunctional LED premium reflector headlights, and they do look really cool, especially when you approach the car and you get a little message saying, hey, let's go for a ride. One of the cool details I was talking about while driving was this six-pack logo, but it's facing toward the driver, so when you're looking at the front of the vehicle, it's upside down. The problem is, you can't read it when you're in the driver's seat. Under the hood, there are two engine choices. A 3-liter twin-turbocharged inline 6-cylinder available two ways. 420 horsepower with 469 pound-feet of torque, or our test vehicle, the 550 horsepower, 531 pound-feet of torque. Again, all-wheel drive is standard. We're hoping for a HEMI V-8 to join the lineup later. It looks like that V-8 could fit in there. Both engines are backed by an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy, if that matters to you, is only 20 miles to the gallon combined, but that's not why you buy this vehicle. 0 to 60 time, 3.9 seconds. Quarter mile elapsed time, 12.2 seconds, and a top speed of 177 miles an hour. While we were test driving this vehicle, I was talking about whoa power. That's because it has Brembo brakes. That's why this vehicle stops on a dime. Great brakes that actually perform. Because I'm in Buffalo, Stellantis delivered this vehicle with all-season tires. They wanted to make sure it was safe because a summer tire would not be so smart in the winter. These are 305/35/20s on alloy wheels. They look good and they perform well. Put a nice drag tire on this and you can have a lot of fun at the track. The Dodge Charger does have performance suspension and a 345 limited slip differential, which means you're going to get good traction, and this vehicle can go on a racetrack. Best of all, this vehicle comes with a one-day performance driving school, so you can learn how to get the most of this vehicle because, believe me, there's a lot of fun to be had on the track. Even though I made this Charger pretty dirty driving it around on the streets, I will tell you this Scat Pack logo just makes you smile. It's just adorable and a great little throwback. And this is one of those performance features that people like. It's those details, like the six-pack detail on the hood, would make people buy this vehicle over the competition. The Charger gets an all-new interior with 12-inch center screens. Love the driver display, totally customizable. The center screen is customizable. As we've shown you, put the performance pages in here. You can have your audio, your climate control, whatever you want. Everything is easy to access. Buttons below for climate control as well. I do like the fact they're carrying along that Charger logo. That triangle is also here around the emergency button. Further down, you've got some of your traction control, wireless charging, the pistol grip, leather wrapped shifter. Very, very nice little throwback. The start stop button is right here. Very cool, unique design as well. Parking brake. Wish it was a parking brake so you could actually do a parking brake turn, but they made that electronic. Two cup holders here. A good-sized glove box designed for the driver more so. There is a charge port inside for a regular lighter outlet, but if you have a radar detector, get that USB-C connection. You can plug in right here because you're going to need a radar detector. And of course, I personally like the Escort radar detectors, and we've reviewed that on our channel as well. Now let's take a look at the steering wheel. It's leather wrapped, flat top, flat bottom. We've only seen that on a few other cars, and this is starting to become a new trend. Yes, it's available on the Ford GT. We've seen it on the Lincoln Navigator, but we're now seeing this more and more because of visibility. This has a head-up display. It allows you to see that clearer and gives you better visibility for the road. And it looks really cool. Love the stitching. The stitching throughout is all red. Great performance seats, and there are a lot of options as well. The seats are heated and vented, and 8-way power is available on the driver's side. Some of the optional equipment available on this vehicle include leather performance seats. They're high back buckets, 12-way power adjustable driver and passenger seat, 4-way lumbar for both front seats. That package is $995. This also has the customer preferred package 22B. It's $4,995, but it includes vented front seats, heated second row seats, performance pages, which you'll need if you take it to the track, a 16-inch color driver display, map and cluster display. Uconnect is the 12.3-inch screen, touchscreen display, wireless charging, surround view camera we showed you, bright pedals, head-up display, and so much more, including that attitude adjustment ambient lighting I like. Alexa is built in, power tilt and telescoping steering wheel. All of that is part of that customer preferred package. So you might be wondering, how tight is the second row? Well, if you are going to have people in the second row on a regular basis, I highly recommend the sedan. Otherwise, the second row isn't so bad, actually. Getting back here may not be easy, but the legroom is fantastic. Headroom, excellent. Glass roof goes all the way back. There's, of course, 2 child safety seats back here so you can take your kids for a very fun ride. Behind the center console in the second row are 2 USB-C charge ports, as well as 3-stage heated seats. There are 2 cup holders, and yes, there is 60-40 split rear seating, so you can get more storage back here, so you could use this as a daily driver. Coming around to the back, you've got the LED taillights and your logo in the center, all illuminated, gloss black rear wing, which I really like. There are some additional options that are on our test car, which includes the black top package for $1,095, includes the dual black tip exhaust, Charger embossed across the back. Really makes this vehicle look classy and sporty. Our test vehicle has the optional 20-inch by 11-inch aluminum wheels, and that tire package is the 305/35 ZR20 all-season tires. That's $1,095. And for your information, that full glass roof I talked about while driving is an additional $995. When it comes to the warranty, it's 3 years, 36,000 miles, and the powertrain is 5 years or 60,000 miles, and no complimentary maintenance is included. Cargo space is a surprising 23 cubic feet. Fold down those second row seats and you're at 37 cubic feet of storage. There is no spare tire on this vehicle because that is unnecessary weight. However, there is a tire inflation product that is located underneath this cover. Well, we know there's only one competitor when it comes to the Charger, and that is the Mustang. However, there are some pros and cons when it comes to the Dodge Charger. I love the fact that they put an engine back into this vehicle and it wasn't just all electric. However, I wish there was a V8 available. We're hearing rumors that a HEMI is coming in the near future, and that does not surprise me that that will happen. Also, it handles very well in the street, very nice ride, technology is quick and easy to use, all of that are major pluses. Seats are comfortable, and this is a perfect vehicle if you want to go drag racing. And taking it to the school that comes with it, that's a major plus as well. The rear-wheel drive option, that is a ton of fun and can get you in trouble in the winter weather, but the all-wheel drive system is perfect for year-round travel. On the negative side, well, I wish it was a little lighter, but that may be because of the electrification they're using throughout the system. When it comes to the price, this vehicle starts at $51,990. The top trim level is $64,480. And since our test car came with all the goodies, the ones that I would personally order, this vehicle came in at $68,355, which is a really good value when you start comparing it to the Mustang. They are head-to-head. That means insurance rates as well as performance and price. So make sure to take them both for a test drive and decide which is your personal favorite. Overall, the 2026 Dodge Charger is a true improvement by putting a gasoline engine back in the vehicle and getting enthusiasts back into their cars the way it should be. Dodge is continuing that by putting in a HEMI we're hearing in the future. I'm looking forward to that. And again, this is a great car to take for a test drive. It'll put a lot of smiles on your face. If you have any additional questions, put them down in the comments below. There's more details in the description, as well as my social media. And if you'd like to support our channel, you can buy me a cup of coffee. I'm LaurenFix. Thanks so much for watching.